Hi, welcome back. We're just outside Carmona today. Very interesting property. 15,000 square meters of land, completely squared, fenced, and really quite productive, as you'll soon see. We're at the front boundary now of the property. There's some absolutely stunning wild palms there in large groups. And that's more or less the end of the property where the taller palm is. And then, you know, you've got this whole street-facing boundary with some wild cactus, which is actually quite stunning, and it does actually produce a nice fruit as well. Speaking of fruit, you've got basically two. The predominant is olive and orange, although there are several fruit trees scattered around. We're in the olive section. You can see at the end of this road just down there is where the citrus fruit starts. There's orange as well as, I'm sure, some lemon as well. So we're walking along this boundary here toward the tennis court. And a nice pine there to the front of the property. A lot of mature trees. I would say realistically these olives and a couple little babies there just on the vine, getting fat, ready to be plucked, probably for table, for eating olive, as opposed to the oil kind. So we're basically at the front now, but you can see, back up here for a second, you can see through the rows that there are just some absolutely stunning palm trees and other flowering trees as well. That's more or less where the house is. See if I can give you a roof shot from here to put things in perspective where we are in relation to this lovely property. Okay, yeah, it was actually the row we just passed. Just got to find the right angle. Right, so you can see, where are you? You can see just about there where that tall palm is. There's the roof of the house. Okay, to give you an idea of where we are. Okay, and again, most of the 15,000 is planted. The present owner contracts out this land, and you can see you've got all the black irrigation lines there, and it looks like it's just been freshly tilled as well, and that's contracted out. Right, so if you want to become an orange olive farmer, go for it, but it would just sometimes be as easy just to take your share of the yield, the crop, both oranges and olives. So essentially you've got fresh orange juice for life. And if you don't like olives, now would be the time to start acquiring a taste for them. And you can see there's some good ones there in bunches. A couple of months off at least. And then we've got another grouping here of just some absolutely gorgeous wild palms, followed by some very nice mature pines as well. Oh, it's a hot one out there today, boys and girls. Got to be pushing about 40. But a nice breeze, as you can probably hear. Right, here's the tennis court. Could be locked, indeed. But anyway, through the chain link you can see regulation. That looks in condition. You can see, I think the wind's got into it, or lack of use possibly. Easy enough to remedy. And here we are at the front gate. It's a very peaceful location. Again, we're not that far from Carmona. And you know, quite a few of the properties in the area are similar to this one. Large, nicely done, big pieces of land. Tennis court, as in your neighbor here in the front, and there's their long entrance in. So it's a very, very private area, there's no doubt. That's your neighbor's gate there. Let's head up toward the house. It's a very, very nice hedge leading up. Needs a bit of a trim. And of course you've got plenty of citrus fruit here as well, along with some almond, I believe, and pear, peach. There's a number of fruit trees on the property. But of course with these orange trees lining the driveway, you know, once they blossom, it's almost overpowering. And of course you've got, ooh, don't want to guess, but several orange trees. And this one could be a lemon. It looks more lemonish than orange. Give it the old crunch up test. Never fails. Absolutely lemon. So, nice sized tennis court. A lot of people would do as well is, you know, by simply just putting a basketball hoop there and sort of expand on the idea. You've also got water connections all up and down the driveway. If you want to attach it to a blaster, clean off the leaves and so forth, you've got some water. Just an absolutely stunning bougainvillea there in full bloom. That'll be one of my faves. And then again, a couple of very large mature pines, giving you a little bit of a buffer between the house. So up here, you've got sort of a part of the olive grove. And again, you can see it's fully irrigated. These are a little bit younger, I would think, than the first ones we saw. These look to be about maybe 15 years old, where the other ones were looking probably would double that, 35 maybe. But considering they will bear fruit for over 100 years, you got plenty of time. And just some interesting foliage all around. The garden is completely irrigated, very low maintenance, very easy to keep looking beautiful without killing yourself. And again, even though I showed you just a second ago your neighbor or his gate, of course with this high hedge with assorted foliage, it's completely private. That's looking back. Let's take a look at the stable block. There's also a large living room in there, which I'll show you in a second. Should I give you a sneak peek on the house? There you go. Big old size. We'll see a little later on. So you've got a door there which takes you into the sort of winter room, summer room. You've got room in there for a full-size snooker table, air hockey, ping pong, what have you. Looks like there were some animals stored here, kept here at one point. Building's in very, very good nick, structurally. You know, and you've got your little feed pens and so forth here. Don't know what they had exactly. Could have been some pig, goats, sheep, not sure. As you can see, I mean, the soil in this area, and we'll get to that in a second, is just absolutely fertile. Lots of water in the area as well. So if you're into gardening, you'll see in a sec that it gets even better from what we've seen already, which is really more the sort of production side of the property. And you've got a larger area here as well. Not being a farm kind of person, don't really know what this was used for. Possibly feed store. And you've got another room here. And looking back into the feed area. And that gate there leads just to the, you know, sort of the front parking area just before you get to the house. And these windows here that we can see, those go into the large winter summer lounge. You've got water connection out here as well. Good amount of space. You got some pigeonholes here, quite a few actually. And then another decent sized, could be a kennel, cattery. But, you know, unlike a lot of these sort of cortico structures, Cortijo style, I should say. You know, this is in very, very good condition. Just needs a little bit of paint. Your chimney flue there. Water reserve as well. Free hot water in the summer. Usually connected to a shower. Speaking of which, little wash-up area here after you've been working with the animals. Water, electricity, a couple of water points. There's another one there. Electricity is a little bit dated, but it works. Easy enough to update. And then you've got a shower room here with your toilet. Tiles a bit 70s, a little retro, but good little structure here. I mean, depending on what you did with this, i.e. if you were to take on animals, you know, as you can see, it's an industrial type roof. But, you know, this whole area here, I would think you could, if you wanted to, convert this into additional living space, because as we'll see in a second, this room here on the left of me, you know, is just huge. So, you know, potentially you've got another house. Let's go back the way we came. Hope you're enjoying the tour so far. Indeed. Always like interesting and unique properties. It takes a lot to get me excited about a property after seeing thousands, several thousands. Nice little cacti there. Gorgeous palms in the back as well. Those are senior citizens, to say the least. Right, so then into the large lounge that I was telling you about. Nice fireplace. Looks like a bit of a bar there at one point set up. Now, pay attention obviously to the roof. It's insulated, so it's noticeably cooler in here, but certainly, you know, in its day it probably looked great, but it's about 40 years on now, so could use a little bit of modernization. But you can see, I mean, it's a decent size. I would guess this is probably in the region of about 70 square meters, roughly. You do have a kitchen set up there with an extractor if you wanted to cook up a meal there. A big old fireplace. Burnt olive and eucalyptus wood in this neck of the woods. Actually, here I can give you a good idea of what you're looking at as far as the roof, because this panel has come off. Okay. But potentially, and of course the floor as well. You know, it's not ugly, but you know, there's a lot I think that you could do with this area. As I was saying, we burn eucalyptus and olive wood up here. Burns long and hot. Parts of very, very nice fragrance. Here's an aerial view of the property to give you an idea that it is completely square. You can see the tennis courts there. We are walking through the olive, and you can see about halfway, just at the end of the tennis court, it turns from olive to orange. And then in front of the house you can see there's just a large piece of blank canvas, at least when the photo was taken. Let's see what it looks like today. And again, you've got your kitchen area with water, electricity, a little grill there, quite handy. And then you've got your extraction. And you've got a nice little patio area here with some nice plants and so forth.